Hello and welcome to Talk of the Terraces football podcast, European special. You're joined today by Tom and my good friend James. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, man. I'm all right. It feels like not long since we spoke because the season's not long ended, has it?
Yeah, it's probably been 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, still not had our pre-season tour yet.
That's next month.
That's still in the planning phase. We're just waiting to get our visas done and everything.
Get our visas and get our vaccinations done.
Get jabbed up to the eyebrows. Yeah.
Is Liverpool classed as amber?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is it?
Exactly.
Or has it been moved from green to amber at last minute notice?
Yeah. Well, it's never going to be blue. It's always going to be red.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got me jabbed the other day. My arm's still hurting.
Is it? Did you have the Pfizer one?
Yeah, the Pfizer one. But it was so weird because there was like loads of people having the AstraZeneca one and then just me having a Pfizer one, and I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I being given this one?
Were you getting dirty looks or...?
Yeah, like a separate one. I was like, all right, okay. But I wanted the British one. I wanted the AstraZeneca one.
Yeah, I think they've said all under 40s have the Pfizer one.
Oh, fair enough.
It's to do with this blood clots thing, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I had the Pfizer one as well.
Ah, cool. Yeah. That's good then.
But yeah.
Yeah. So remember in school when you used to give each other like really bad dead arms? And stuff?
Yeah.
It's been like that for days.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you had your BCG and someone would like smack you on where you've had it. And stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You get the year 11s coming smack you on your BCG. Yeah.
Exactly. It was a lovely school. Yeah.
yeah. But no, you're right. I had a sore arm for 2 or 3 days, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get that done. Plan out the pre-season tour. But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about not Brexit, another European matter, not the European Song Contest.
No.
Not the hard Brexit, soft Brexit border.
Nothing to do with the fish.
No, what's going to happen to shortbread if Scotland leave the EU?
Wet meat.
Wet meat, yeah.
I saw that yesterday, wet meat.
Yeah, wet meat. You've got to... If you're going Northern Ireland, you can't take your wet meat with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you can if you're going from...
glad about.
Yeah, you can if you're going from the Republic to Northern Ireland, though.
Yeah, you can't take your wet meat over the border. Don't dangle your wet meat over the border, for God's sake.
It wasn't in the Brexit agreement. Because
if you don't, you'll end up with a hard border. Oh dear. Yeah, so it is a European special today. We're, of course, talking about the European Championships 2020. Don't worry, you're not listening to an old one. There's something happened in the last few years. I can't remember what it was called. Something... what was it? San Miguel virus or something like that. So that happened. So the European Championship for 2020 is actually being played in European Championship 2021.
Yeah, so, that's a good question. Is it still called Euro 2020?
I've been onto the BBC just now. Obviously, I've researched all the stuff that we're going to use absolutely up to the hilt before doing this. I've not just gone onto the webpage. And their BBC, God's channel, I've got it as UEFA Euro 2020, so I think I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, and the Wikipedia page is UEFA 2020.
Yeah, I think best stick with that. There's a kind of elephant in the room, innit? It's not really 2020.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I was thinking about the sticker books they've started being advertised.
Oh, I was tempted, Every time I see him.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I've said to my little lad, we'll do the Premier League one next year because he likes sticking things in sticker books now, so that'd be a good time to get him into it.
Exactly. It's like when you go to the supermarket and buy a bag for life, even though you've got loads back home. You're not going to use it, and it's going to have absolutely no relevance, but it's just the fun of it.
Exactly, yeah. And I also think they've probably got a warehouse full of Euro 2020 sticker albums that they need to flog. That they can't afford to burn and make new ones with 2021 on.
Yeah, collector's item. Someone sat there with a biro just scratching out the zeros.
Well, there's also that, yeah. And what about, there must be some players who were kind of in contention then, who aren't being picked this time as well, yeah.
Yeah, true, yeah. Exactly. So it's all changed, but it's going to be still the same tournament.
Yeah.
They are going to have fans in. And before we get really stuck in, what we're going to do is we're not going to do a big show today. We're just going to do a wee little show, just covering stuff about predictions and how we feel the tournament's going to go. But before we start, I've got a question for you and our fellow listeners. A European, well, it's not even a European Championship themed one, actually. It's just an international football themed question.
Okay.
And I remember this after 5 minutes before we came on air that the question I've got is actually based on the World Cup. So it's now...
You can save it for next year's special.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, it's an international England team question.
Okay.
Apologies for Scotland and Wales and Ireland.
All the others, yeah.
Yeah, but you might enjoy it anyway.
Yeah.
So, pen and papers at the ready, everybody.
Okay.
Hands on
Buzzers.
lips. Yeah.
Fingers on lips.
Fingers on lips.
Hands on your heads.
Are you sitting comfortably? And I will begin. What, not when, not who, what was the starting lineup for England team against Argentina in France 98?
Oh, good question.
So this is a question possibly aimed at our dirty 30s, who we are about.
Yeah.
As the others won't remember, millennials and stuff. So it's who was in the so it is a who. So who was in the starting lineup for that infamous 2-2 game when we lost against Argentina on penalties, the Beckham kick, everything. I've just given one of them away. Brilliant. Yeah, but he wasn't playing. He ran on the pitch and booted the ref up the ball.
Oh right, yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's one. You've got to guess 10.
Yeah.
So who was in the starting lineup for that 1998 quite a famous team?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like you said, we would have been 12, 13 in that game.
Yes. Yeah. About that age. Yeah.
Yes.
And it was the kind of the first tournament I can remember Euro 96, but it was the kind of first tournament I was really geared up for, excited for, and everything. So.
Yeah, you're quite right in that my first tournament was Euro 96, but the opening ceremony in England's first game against Switzerland, which was 1-1, I was just playing outside. I didn't watch that one.
Were you?
Yeah. I couldn't bother watching it, so I was just playing football outside.
Yeah, I remember one of them was against Tunisia, I think.
That was from the World Cup. That was the opening game of the World Cup, I think.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah. And then I also watched the England-Scotland game, and then I kind of got into the tournament then. But yeah, France 98, I think we were in school when England played Tunisia.
Yes, I think so, yeah. It was like a 2:00 game, I think.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah,
and I think they had it on in some classroom.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. On them old tellies that they used to wheel out.
That's it, yeah, with the VCR kind of combo.
Yeah, it was like a maintenance. It was like a mainframe server.
That's
like the size of the video. You rewind it. It was like sparks.
Yeah, I mean, people who were kind of born after 2000 must be thinking, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly, and I promise you, when it comes around to the World Cup, I'll have an up-to-date one. Maybe England versus Germany in 2010 or something.
Yeah. Well, talking to tellies, I was only mentioning this to the wife the other day. I remember when it was my job when I was a little kid to go up to the telly to change the channel.
Yeah.
Like press the button on top of the telly.
Yeah, exactly. And it was an honour to do it.
It was, yeah. Like it was like, James, number 2. So you'd walk over the telly and press number 2 on the telly. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even closest to the telly.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It was totally unfair.
Yeah.
But I had to get up.
Yeah. But
that's when you done with like a really clever dog that could go up and like nudge it with his nose or something.
Nudge it, yeah, and then get a treat. Yeah.
Yeah. Put the volume on full.
But that just shows you how old we are.
Yeah, exactly. I remember my granddad's telly had the volume didn't have a remote control at all. The volume had a slider.
Oh,
yeah, and you had to be
nice.
deadly accurate with it. Because Grandma had an hearing aid, so
Was it one of those? If you moved it a millimetre too far, it was like on full blast.
Yes, exactly.
Or
yeah.
a millimetre the other way, it was basically you couldn't hear it.
Exactly. I found that you had to put your nail on your thumb into the little groove in it, and that kind of tiny little amount
act as a bit of a break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or else it'll go, "Whoa, sister, sister." Oh, that's really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I used to watch Sister Sister.
I didn't actually, so I can't put my hands up to that one.
Go home, Roger.
Yeah. So that's how old we are.
Yeah, exactly. So, Euro 2020. We're going to stick with that, yeah.
Go for your I think
Yeah,
it's the
Euro
official.
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, we have got, it's usually, to be fair, in previous tournaments, it's usually quite England-centric. There's not many others that break through, but this time we've got quite a nice smattering of our home nations that are involved in this tournament.
Yeah.
We've got Wales, we've got Scotland, and have we got Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland?
Neither.
Oh, we didn't get any of them.
No, the island of Ireland has not been represented. No.
Ah, Jesus. That's a shame. So it's just those ones that are on this island then.
Yeah, and I'm just rapidly checking before people from Ireland listen in and they go, "We're in the fucking tournament."
You bastard.
No, it's yes, like you said.
I remember that they were really close, weren't they? Because the game got delayed till, I think, did they play it this year or something?
Yeah, either one or both of the Ireland teams did get to the playoffs, I think.
Yeah. And then, oh, shame. Yeah, so it's three home nations that are represented.
Yeah.
So let's not be too patriotic. Let's not start with England first. Why don't we start with Wales? So their group, they're in Euro 2020 Group A. So they've got Turkey, Switzerland and Italy.
Yeah.
Interesting group. To be honest with you, looking at that, I don't know what the Swiss are like now, but they've never been that great. And Turkey are a bit hit and miss. So I think they might have a really good shot at second place in that group.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the rankings here. Obviously, Italy are ranked 7th in the world.
Yeah.
Switzerland are 13th. And Wales are 17th. So there's definitely an opportunity for them to be top two, I think.
Yeah.
Because on their day, Wales could beat Italy on their day.
Exactly.
I'd say Wales can beat anyone. They've got they have got Bale and Ramsey.
Yeah, they've got some top players in the team.
Yeah. Because I have realised as well, I think it's something like, is it 3 or 4 of the best third place teams go through to the next round as well?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, which I discovered this morning.
Oh, it's gone with the University Challenge formula.
Exactly, yeah. You've lost 2 games, but you still make it to the knockout round.
Yeah. Goalie Sheffield.
Yeah, it's going to be Bale Wales.
They carry them on their pouches.
Yeah.
I love watching University Challenge because I love how, like, when they get a question right and they pick up the water, they're like shaking like a shitting dog.
Yeah, and they neck it dead quick.
So happy. Yeah.
Do you know what? This year's University Challenge, I got all 3 of the on a bonus round.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Name the artist. It was a popular music round.
Ah, excellent. Yeah.
Anything, something that isn't academic.
Yeah.
If it was asking you to name what does this translate to in English, from Latin to English.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's certain questions where you haven't got a clue, like, but there's some go-to answers, like, name this Dutch artist painted this, Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Rembrandt.
Yeah.
This Italian opera composer, Puccini.
Yeah.
Just rattle off, and then whoever's sitting next to you thinks you're dead clever, but really you haven't got a clue.
Exactly, yeah. Or was it Carl Pilkington? He had 2 famous ways of playing University Challenge.
Oh, really? I haven't listened to that one.
Yeah, the first one was just answer egg to everything. Because eventually they'll ask a question where the answer is egg. Like Fabergé made gold encrusted what? Eggs.
Egg.
Yeah. Or his other game was to, as the question's been read out, guess which person's going to answer it.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could go with the captain, couldn't you, most of the time? But yeah, there's usually some of them. Sorry, Wales, we will get back on.
3 million people in Wales have just switched off.
Some of them will just literally sit there the whole show and do bugger all.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just there for that one question on chemistry.
Yeah, they just lean in and go, and then that's it. That's their contribution.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Wales.
Yeah. So Scotland.
So
Wales.
Wales. We think probably got a good chance, don't we? Of going through.
I mean, they're going to be a team that's going to score goals and be candidates to win all games. So even if they finish third, they might be one of the best third place finishers.
Exactly. So, Group A. Quick prediction on that one: Italy, Wales. Do you reckon?
I'd go Italy, Wales. Yeah. Top two.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. Right, let's move to Scotland.
Yes.
Your former fatherland.
Mike. Yeah, have I got a soft spot for Scotland? Not until England are out. My soft spot for Scotland is if it's England versus Scotland, then England to win.
Yes.
If it's Scotland versus anyone else, Scotland to win. But if Scotland get to the final, I don't want them to win.
Yes, exactly. Because we are in a bit of a predicament because we've got two home nations in the same group.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an issue, really. They're in Group D. And their teams that they're going to be playing against are England. Czech Republic and Croatia.
Yeah.
So that's not the best group for England, never mind Scotland.
No, well, this is the thing. I think Scotland are ranked the lowest, in terms of FIFA World Rankings. Mm-hmm. And Czech Republic are a few places above them. And then I think Croatia, something like 14th, 15th. The thing is, though, for Scotland, they are going to be so up for that England game.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be one of the big scalps for them. One of the big points of it, they will do anything to beat us and to cause an upset on that one. And England, especially at Wembley.
Exactly. And England could be ranked number one in the world, by far the best international team, and Scotland could be 50th. It doesn't matter when it comes to England versus Scotland.
Yeah, they will always try their hardest.
Yeah, and I think based on that Scotland may beat England and one of the others. I think Scotland will be top two.
Do you? That's an interesting prediction.
Yeah, I think Scotland will do it.
Yeah, because Scotland have got some really good players, haven't they? They've got Andy Robertson, McTominay, many more to mention, of course. But I think that they could really mount a good challenge. I think that's probably one of the worst groups out of the ones in there.
I agree. I think it's the second worst group.
Yeah.
The second toughest, yeah.
Croatia are a great team. Czech Republic have got a history of being really good. They even got through to the final in Euro 96.
Yeah.
England had a really good 2018 World Cup. So Scotland, are we saying maybe possibly second place?
I would say so. What do you think, mate?
I don't know. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It all hangs on how they play against England.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, which will be the second game, won't it? I think, yeah. So, if they got a win under the belt before going into that one, I really fancy them.
Yeah, which is really likely, isn't it? Because Scotland's first game against Czech Republic are only 4 places above them world rankings, and it's at Hampden, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Scotland will get second place.
Yeah, I mean, they could find themselves in a position where they've played 2-1-2.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of that all-important game against England. England could be needing to win their last game kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I think that I think Scotland will finish second, yeah.
Yeah, second place, or like you said, third place facing possible automatic qualification.
I think they're similar to Wales in that I think they'll be one of the 4 strong third place finishers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then moving on swiftly to England.
England.
I don't know why I did that like Pro Evolution Soccer in the old days. Now moving on to England.
Yeah. Was it David Beecham?
Yeah.
Michael Oren.
Yeah, the Old Trafford was called Tradbrick Stadium.
Tradbrick. Oh god.
That was a great goal for England.
Once again showing our age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
True. They were these kids of all the things.
Yeah.
Like the fans were just flat, weren't they? When we were playing it.
Yeah. Was that one
They
of
were
those
just-
games where you had to kind of do loads of code to get it to play?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you had to do like loads of to score a free kick. You basically had to do the bare tapestry of commands in order to
Yeah.
to make him kick it through. Or there was a cheat where you could hit it under the wall and it'd work every time. But,
Oh, just do a little tap so it'd go under.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. What an unbelievable goal for England. Yeah, so anyway, Gareth Southgate's at the helm again.
Yeah.
Waistcoat or no waistcoat, we're yet to see.
I think he said he's going to ditch it, hasn't he?
Oh, has he?
I'm sure I read something the other day that he's retiring the waistcoat.
Oh,
I might be
fair
wrong.
enough.
I only read the headline, but I'm sure that he's ditching the waistcoat.
That's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever suits.
Bum. Was that a one by mistake, or did you mean that?
I think that was one by mistake. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think. What do you think? England top of the group?
I think England top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, as we just said, it's that pivotal Scotland game. I think that Scotland and England will play each other probably with a win each.
Yeah.
Kind of winner takes all games in that second game, really.
Yeah.
You've got to say England will go through as top because they're ranked 4 in the world or 3rd in Europe.
Yeah. So they have got. I know they haven't been playing that many games since COVID and everything, but they've still got a lot of firepower in that team.
They have, yeah.
And they've absolutely, well, it showed with the selection issues, didn't it? They're absolutely spoiled for talent
Yeah.
at the moment. When you're not considering taking someone like a Trent Alexander-Arnold, it means like you've got a lot of good players in the team.
Exactly, yeah.
Not a packed out midfield from looking at it though, which is a bit strange.
It's quite short, isn't it? I think they've got probably a couple of defenders that can perhaps go forward. You know, and like Alexander Arnold, he was the kind of
Sweepers, like,
yeah.
Yeah. So I think England's top of that group, and Scotland second. I think.
I'd say so. Yeah. I mean, and we might touch on it in the next part of the show, the next part of in second part. But it's who you want to avoid in the next round, really.
Yeah. So would we, because we're in Group D, would we be playing Group C?
I think the winner of Group D plays the runner-up of Group F, and Group F is the group of death.
Oh, Group. Fuck, literally.
Yeah.
I just looked at it.
Yeah.
France, Germany, Hungary, Portugal.
Yeah. So you've got to play the
Ouch.
runner-up out of that group.
No, I definitely know why you said that's the second.
Yeah. The thing is, though,
Yeah.
in the next round, you'd have to play the winner of Group F. So you eventually got to play someone out of Group F before the final.
Oh, Christ.
I think winner of Group D, whereas runner-up of Group D, we'll play runner-up of Group E. We'll play winner of Group F, yeah. So it's a bit of a toughie, really.
Yeah, you could have done with Group C or someone like that.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to play one of those teams in the final, perhaps.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah, that's a tough group.
But
you've got to do it to win it, so...
Of course you have, yeah. You've got to play one of the best teams at some point. If
Exactly.
not the best team, yeah.
Should we have a quick break and then come back with predictions of who we think's going to win the whole thing?
I think so. Let's do it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Juan Carlos. Welcome to Juan Carlos Tapas Restaurant. Juan Carlos. Come to our restaurant, the best tapas restaurant in all of Pablo de Dudley. Juan Carlos. Come, feast upon my Spanish sausage. Juan Carlos. Come, I will show you to your table. Pull out your chair, then seat your wife and sneakily sniff her hair. Juan Carlos. Come, don't take my word for it. Listen to my customers. Juan Carlos. Juan Carlos is a real gentleman. I told him that I was having difficulty eating my fish platter. He then leaned forward and stuck his finger right into my clam. Wonderful. Juan Carlos. So come, be my guest, eat my food, drink my sangria, and then join me in the hot tub after the meal for one final little portion. Hasta luego, Juan Carlos.
Welcome back to the European Championship Special of Talk the Terraces. Have you got any stats, James?
No. No stats. I was actually going to have a look at some stats, perhaps, for...
Stat attack.
Stat attack, yeah. No, nothing. No, nothing.
Never mind, mate. It's fine.
I think aren't Italy the only team to have won every game in the group stages to qualify?
That's a good start.
I'm sure I've seen
That is a
Italy
good start.
won all 10 games, the only team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is a good one.
I might be completely wrong, but I'm sure I read that.
Yeah. Shall we make up stats?
Perhaps, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. Hungary are, in fact, the hungriest team. They consume more food per pound than the rest of the European teams in the championship.
Yeah,
isn't that amazing?
It is amazing, and the one I had was very similar in that Sweden,
yeah,
per capita don't consume the most Swedish meatballs.
That's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. It's actually the Spanish.
That's because of course, yeah, because they have them in the paella and everything.
Exactly.
Don't they?
Yeah. They've got more variety of dishes to put it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have you got any stats on players rather than eating habits?
Ronaldo, the Portugal player, has
not the Brazilian one.
Not the Brazilian one, the Portuguese one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Has been to Southampton, sorry, but he's never been to Scunthorpe. That's a fact for you.
That's like the weird one that Elvis never went to Britain, but apparently he was in Liverpool, wasn't he, in the early 60s?
Oh, I thought it was Scotland, or he touched down in Scotland.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, used the bog and then went.
And then went again, yeah. That's similar to that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, didn't have much luck with toilets after that anyway, but yeah.
No. No. Yeah, if you're wondering what we're on about, Google it.
Yeah. Last fact for you.
Yeah.
Belgian player, Eden Hazard, is actually a hazard.
He's a trip hazard, is he?
He's crashed his car so many times, yeah.
He's actually a hazard.
He's a road hazard, yeah. So that's our top facts for you. Please don't sue me, Eden. Fucking hell. It's just a podcast. It's just a joke.
Yeah. We're not getting into that.
Next time your insurance premium goes through the roof, don't blame me.
Yeah. Direct line. Don't quote Tom on what he just said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this bit, as well as our great facts, amazing European facts, we're going to look at who we think's going to win this tournament. Just a quick one. I know who I'd like to win.
Yeah.
Slovakia. But
yeah.
No, I think we can both universally say that we'd both love England to win this tournament, especially with the final being at home and everything.
Yeah, it's about time, isn't it? It's about time as well, yeah.
Yeah, because they keep saying football's coming home, but it's not actually come home yet. So, so we'd like England to win. But realistically, hand on heart, who do we think's who's going to win it? Who do you think, mate, starting us off?
I mean, it seems obvious, but you got to say either Belgium or France.
Right, okay.
Belgium are ranked number 1 in the world. France are ranked number 2 in the world. Mm-hmm. I think that Belgium and France would possibly meet each other in the semi-finals.
Right.
If they were to both win their groups, which based on form and kind of rankings, you'd say would happen.
Yes.
I'd fancy Belgium to do it. So and then obviously go through to the final and win. You'd have to put your money on Belgium.
Yeah. Okay. That's
so
good.
yeah, I'd
got
go
players
Belgium.
like De Bruyne, and they've got some really good talent, haven't they?
Yeah. Hazard.
Yeah.
Who we've just mentioned.
Don't sue me.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to go with the team that's ranked number 1 in the world, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and throw a curveball. England's got every chance. On the day they could turn up and just do it.
Could have a bad game, couldn't they?
You could, we could play them and they have a bad game. Yeah, they could get injuries. But I think if you're just going to look at the numbers and look at the form, I'd put my money on Belgium. Yeah. What about you, mate?
I'd probably, you touched on them, I'd probably go with France.
You'd go France, okay.
Just for the sheer amount of players that are in the prime. You've got Kylian Mbappe, you've got Kante, you've got Pogba. Well,
yeah.
They've got a great keeper in Hugo Lloris. They've got Dembele as well.
Yeah.
I'd think they're all averaging around the same age, and I think they'd be really ones to watch, I think. But then again, like France have had some shocking tournaments before. So I'd probably say France, but in my heart I'd like to go for England just because they come so far last time and those players have matured a bit now. They have got a very young squad, but sometimes it can really catch other teams off balance.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I'd probably go France, second England, probably.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of where do you think... What about Portugal?
I think they are a good side, but they've been for years too dependent on Ronaldo.
Yeah, what do you think he's kind of perhaps past the peak of his powers now?
Yeah, you can't write him off, but he won't win you the game on his own anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, because we were talking of stats just at the start there, and once again, I may be getting this wrong, but I'm sure that they've said this is the first time in the history of the European Championships that the defending European champion and world champion have been in the same group.
Oh, really?
Obviously, France and Portugal, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It's obviously, it is the group of death, isn't it?
Yes, that's a really harsh group, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where Hungary are in terms of they're ranked 37th, and obviously Germany are.
Yeah, we've got the old guard, haven't we? We've got the likes of Italy and Germany and Spain, who haven't even got a mention. But you can't write them off again. And the Netherlands as well. It's got really good teams that are still in there who could surprise people. Germany, and they've not been doing really well at all recently. I think that game where they got stuffed by North Macedonia was evidence of that. But then again, they are a tournament team and they bring it when they can. Spain are the same. Probably got a bit of an ageing team now.
Yeah.
Back from the glory days of winning the World Cup and everything. Italy, they could be the underdogs. Netherlands have got some really good talent. They haven't got Van Dijk, which is a shame for them, but they have still got other talent as well. Yeah,
well, it's interesting you mentioned the Netherlands. I think they're in Group C, and they are the overwhelming favourites to go through there. And they would play a third-place team in the first round of the knockout. So you'd expect them to go through into the quarterfinals. Now, they'd likely play the winner from Group D, which is obviously England's group, in the quarters. So you never know if Netherlands get a bit of a run. They could go to the semis, I think.
Yes, yeah, they could, yeah. It could be a bit of a surprise one them ones, couldn't it?
I think so, because once again, I think Netherlands, they either turn up or they don't. There seems to be no in between, really, with them.
They're a really good team, but they never seem to perform on the big stage.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And they had that thing through the 80s and 90s, probably even worse than England did during the noughties, the early noughties, in that they were just a world-class team but didn't have anything to show for it, really.
Exactly, yeah. Golden generation, as they call it, don't they?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they can play together sometimes.
Exactly,
Usually when you've got such good players in a team, sometimes you can have a bit of an ego conflict and it'd be bad for the team.
Exactly, yeah. So like you say, do you know what, actually, you make a really good point that there is so many of the old guard that aren't ranked in the top 5 anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you say, Italy, Netherlands, Germany, Spain.
Yeah. So I think those ones you still can't write them off, but I don't think this is going to be their tournament. Probably the World Cup, when some of their newer players have matured a bit, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It could be like a Belgium thing, couldn't it? You know, who would have predicted 10 years ago that they would be getting to World Cup semi-finals and European semi-finals and all that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Come from nowhere.
Chocolates and waffles.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden,
yeah, exactly.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Yeah. I mean, they were never a high-flying European nation.
Yeah.
Until 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that was kind of born out of the fact that they co-hosted the Euros, didn't they, with the Netherlands?
I think they got a good cash injection with that.
Yeah.
Didn't they? And that was a really good tournament, that was.
Yeah.
Apart from England fans chucking chairs at each other. That was. I remember that one's still in my mind's eye. That tournament. I think they got a lot of investment with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like their local teams have been starting to do a bit better.
Going back to
not in the
me.
European Cups as much. Yeah. But yeah, they've become better teams.
Yeah.
So that's our predictions. Then I'm going Francois, and you're going Belgique, is it?
Belgium as well, or some of them.
Well, yeah, and Flemish.
I suppose that's a very good point, actually. If you had to put your money on an outsider, a real outsider going all the way, who'd you put your money on?
Ooh, dark horse.
Yeah, a real dark horse.
Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, a real dark horse going all the way. Now this is where you can really trip yourself up and come across as a right knob.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say North Macedonia.
No.
I wouldn't say Finland, even though they have got our favourite football team there.
Yeah, go on, up the hunk for hunker.
Danes. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think Russia are going to do a lot better than everyone predicts.
Yeah, with World Cup semi-final, didn't they? Obviously, it was a home tournament.
Which is always easier and stuff. But
yeah, I think if I had to go, I'd probably. Do you know what? I'd go Scotland or Wales.
Would you?
Yeah, I fancy one of them to kind of go to the semis or maybe push to the final.
Ooh, who out of the two do you reckon?
Scotland, I think Scotland.
Ooh. Right, you've heard it here first then.
Yeah, I just think they're going to have that. You remember how Greece won it? Although, God, when was that? Probably about 10 years ago? 15 years ago, maybe, is it?
2004, maybe?
It was in Portugal, wasn't it? Because they beat Portugal in the final.
Yeah, they beat their own nation. Yeah. It was a big shock, that was.
Yeah, I fancy Scotland to maybe kind of get that momentum, especially if they beat England.
Yeah.
And then that kind of the spirit will take them through.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen in these tournaments. I mean, you can fairly predict who's going to do really well, but it's a game of football at the end of the day. Things can go against you, can't it? Like,
of course, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like I say, if Hungary have had a really good meal, they're bound to and stuff.
Yeah.
Should we have another break, mate?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Visi Visage.
I want her. I need her. She wants me. She needs me. I am here. I am there. I am every fucking where.
New, creepy fragrance from Visi Visage.
Hello and welcome back to the Euro 2020 special of Football Talk the Terraces podcast. You're joined by me, Tom, and also with James. Hi James, how are you doing?
Hi Tom, how are you? This feels really weird, this does, because we're just going through it at 100 miles an hour.
I know, yeah, we usually very much laid back. We usually got a cigar on and everything, but that now
we're still
like
kind of
speed round.
It is, isn't it? We're at this point we're normally still talking about cats farting and meditating and what's been in the news, but
exactly.
Yeah, just so our kind of listeners know, we've basically got 48 minutes left that we can upload to this month.
Yeah.
So we're having to make a 48-minute episode instead of a 2-hour episode.
Yeah, it's like going on the boating lake and you've only got 15 minutes left, and then someone's going to shout, "You time, you up," and it's just going to cut us off.
Yes. So we've just got to get through it quick. Yeah.
Anyway. Any European weird news?
So our regular listeners will know that we normally do a bit of weird news here, and we weren't going to do it, and then I thought, I'll have a quick look, and I was looking for anything that was European weird news, and there wasn't any, and I think that's because we normally have a month in between shows, and enough weird news hasn't kind of...
Yeah, we have to build up a bit of a bucket of it, don't we?
Exactly, yeah. So I've got one non-European theme news, weird news, and then I've got one Euro 2020 kind of diet weird news. It's not really weird, but it's just the outcome that might be a bit weird for people who are kind of football listeners.
Yes.
My kind of first weird news story, which isn't kind of related to Euros or Europe. I'll just kind of read through the story very quickly.
Cool.
So a 43-year-old woman has been found naked in a storm drain in Florida. And she's been stuck in this storm drain for 3 weeks. Now, that isn't the weird part of the story.
Right. Okay.
So that on its own, someone's gone missing, got trapped in a storm drain for 3 weeks. That's weird. Yeah, that's quite weird. The weirdest thing is that only a few months ago she got trapped in a storm drain in Texas.
Is she some kind of storm drain fan or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Get trapped in storm
I don't
drains?
know. I don't know. So yeah, as the story goes back to March, she was rescued from a storm drain in Texas.
Right.
Apparently, she got lost, fell into a canal, and ended up in a storm drain in Texas. And she was rescued after being stuck down there for a few days.
Oh God.
Anyway, fast forward to kind of June, or it will be May. And she's fall into another storm drain and been stuck there for 3 months.
Oh, it never rains but it pours.
So,
bless her.
So that's the weird news. Non-football related. Yeah. So that would have been a really good one for our normal podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So but it's on the Independent website, independent.co.uk. The woman who's been trapped in 2 storm drains in 2 different states within 3 months.
It's just greed.
It's just yeah. So that's my and moving on to my kind of diet weird news, and it isn't really weird, but it's probably interesting more than weird.
Okay.
So a supercomputer has kind of taken all the information of all the European national teams ahead of Euro 2020. And has kind of calculated all the stats, the figures, the players, and has predicted who's going to win Euro 2020.
Okay.
And this supercomputer has predicted that the Czech Republic are going to win Euro 2020.
No way.
Czech Republic, and they.
Hey, I said that before about them getting to the Euro 96 final.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe this is it. But I suppose the equally weird thing is that this supercomputer reckons that the Czech Republic are going to play Denmark in the final.
That is weird. That's a bit much.
It is a bit much, yeah. Yeah.
I think they need to go back to the octopus.
Oh, that was it exactly. I think the octopus was probably going to have a better record.
Yeah, I reckon. It was an octopus. What was it? What was the Russia one? Was it a cat or something like that?
I don't know, but yeah, I remember the octopus in Germany, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Until it predicted the England one wrong. It predicted we'd win and we lost.
Yeah, exactly. It's got legs.
It's got legs. This story, yeah. So yeah, this supercomputer is saying that the Czech Republic are going to beat England in the semi-finals 3-2.
Well, there we go. You've heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, this supercomputer has put us straight. There you go.
There we go. That's it. Another thing I wanted to cover off in this podcast was part and parcel of the whole tournament culture is going out with your mates, watching it on the big screen, but also when you drive into the game, not after you're drinking, of course, or when you're just driving to your mates, is to get the old football sea shanties on, basically. Yeah. Everyone has their favourites. There hasn't been that many good ones recently, if any, that I remember. But there was a golden age, wasn't there, from the 80s to the 90s of football songs and stuff. So I just wanted to know I've got mine, but I just wanted to know what your favourite football song was, mate.
Yeah, so the first one that sprang to mind is Back Home, which was the World Cup song from 1970. So
hey, that's retro, isn't it?
It is, yeah. England is kind of defending champions.
Yeah.
And it's a proper, like, Dad's Army kind of nostalgic kind of song.
Yeah, was it based on a World War II song or something?
Exactly. It sounds very much like that kind of thing. So yeah, it might be a direct rip from a kind of an uplifting war song. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first one that sprung to mind, and I was going to go with that. But I was listening to music only yesterday, and they played World in Motion by New Order.
Yeah.
And I thought,
that's a classic.
That's the one that does it for me.
Yeah, such a great song, that one.
It is. World in Motion. I think I once again you need to read up about this. And had we been doing a normal podcast, I'd probably be googling this rapidly now. But I'm sure that's a song they had in their back pocket, and they were going to use it, as a proper kind of song for New Order. And in the end, they just chose to put some football lyrics to it and get John Barnes involved in it.
Yeah,
but I'm sure that they had the intentions to for it to just be a normal New Order song.
but that was a touch of genius, wasn't it, to have John Barnes to come on and do a rap on it?
Exactly, it just turns it from a great tune into an absolute classic anthem football song.
Yeah, makes it iconic, doesn't it?
Of course it does, yeah, and it will probably live on for a long time. Yeah, so that's my favourite kind of England song. What about you, mate?
I've got to go with Three Lions.
Yeah.
Actually, no. How does it feel to be on top of the world by the Spice Girls? France 98.
France 98, yeah.
No. I think Three Lions, and I think also the France 98 edition of that as well, when they re-released it, because I was very, very aware of it by then and stuff, and loved that song.
Yeah.
And it was very clever, especially the video for it with the German team names on the back.
Oh, cunts. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, it's just, every time I hear that, even if there's not a tournament on or anything like that, it just G's you up.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so I love World in Motion. I'm not a big fan of Shout It, Let It All Out. I think that's rubbish. Yeah, that one, Three Lions, I think. Fat Les Vindaloo, it's a very close second, because it's just fun. It's just a laugh in it. It's just you can't help but smile when you listen to it.
No, and I've got that on CD from '98. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So Three Lions for me, World in Motion for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Get and listen to them, but yeah, before the England game, get the tunes on.
Yeah, get a couple of them on.
Definitely get you in the mood.
Back home as well.
Back home, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's nearly time to go, mate. But at the top of the show, I asked you to listen to me. Top of the show.
Yeah.
Number 4. I asked a quiz question.
Yeah.
My quiz question was, who was the starting 11 for the England team when they played Argentina in not Euro 98, World Cup 98?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I asked you and the listeners to write down.
Yeah.
So
should I go for ones that I definitely think are right?
Yeah. So I've already give one of them away, Beckham,
Beckham,
because of the famous red card and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's 10 to find.
Yeah. So Seaman in goals.
Yes.
Gary Neville right back.
Yes. Now that one caught me out because I didn't think Gary Neville was playing back in '98, but of course he was even playing in '96.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sol Campbell.
Yes.
And I know that because he got a goal disallowed.
Yeah, he was famous for that one. The goal that never was.
The goal that never was. Now I'm struggling with the other two, the centre half and the left back, so I'll come back to them.
Right. Okay, we'll park them too.
So as you said, Beckham.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know about the rest of the midfield. Paul Ince.
Yes.
Ince, yes.
2 more to get in midfield.
I'll come back to the midfield. The two up front were Shearer and Owen.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4 to find in it. Centre back, left back.
You got a left back defender and 2 midfielders to find.
Yeah. Now I know that David Batty missed a penalty, but I don't know whether he started.
Yes, that's true. He's not in the starting lineup.
No. Who else played in central midfield?
In central midfield. Do you want a clue?
Go on.
Little Ginge.
Oh, Paul Scholes.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I wouldn't have picked him even though obviously it seems obvious.
Yep.
I think left back... is it Graham Lasso?
Yes, well
Is
done.
it?
Yeah, the French one.
The French one, the famous French player.
So it's centre back then.
My initial thought is Tony Adams.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it right? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's left midfield.
You've got one to get, and this is the one I couldn't get.
I'm thinking 2 people.
Right.
There was Darren Anderton and Steve McManaman.
Yes. Which one of them? One of them is right.
I think that
Shush the audience. Shush.
I think that Darren Anderton was dropped so Beckham could start that game. And so, therefore, I'm going to go Steve McManaman. Oh, no!
It was Anderton.
Was it? Oh,
yeah,
no.
I never got that. I put him in Euro 96, but I wouldn't have put him in that one.
Yeah, because I remember there was a big thing about whether he was going to get dropped for Beckham.
Yeah, well, Gascoigne was dropped, wasn't he, even before the tournament started?
Yeah. So he obviously...
there was a lot of contention in midfield.
Yeah, so he obviously just thought, I'll include them both.
Yeah.
Because Beckham... I think Beckham and Anderton scored in that Colombia game, the game before?
Yes, yeah.
Beckham, obviously, the free kick, and then Anderton I think, scored in open play, yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. I hope you all got them right at home as well. Hope it was a bit of fun for you.
Yeah, hope all the oldies got them.
Exactly, yeah. And for the millennials, we'll do you one about... Yeah, your Russia 2018 if you want.
Yeah. Which I will definitely know only probably about half, or remember half of them, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's easy to remember the old ones than the new ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
I love that, mate.
Yeah, that's the end of the Euros podcast.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a month off now, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yeah, got to go and do things.
Go on the tour.
Yeah.
We will release another best of, and we'll do some other little bits and bobs throughout the summer as well.
Yeah.
But we will be back probably in about 2 months' time, won't we, in August, before the Premier League kicks off.
Exactly, and we'll be having fast predictions that are going to be completely accurate by next May.
We will be better, yeah. And hopefully we'll be talking here with England's champions of Europe, eh?
Exactly, yeah. Or one of the other home nations.
Or one of the other home nations, yeah, exactly.
If England go out.
If England go out, yeah. Only if England go out, yeah.
Exactly. Enjoy the tournament, everyone. Stay safe.
Yeah, and we'll speak to you soon.
Exactly. Speak to you soon, mate.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.